Hey everybody, Azzy here, and finally, I've gotten to recording this video. I've been working on it, I've been trying to work on it because I procrastinate severely, so I have to apologize to Roy about this, but finally I'm getting to this review. This will be my first solo review for the channel, so please be gentle. And in light of that, let's begin. So, does anybody else remember the vampire craze that kind of went on between the 2000s and the 2010s? The most we got during that period of time of werewolves were as second fiddle caricatures that were really just meant to be punching bags so that the real stars could sparkle brighter. Me, though, I was that weirdo who always had to root for the underdog. And ever since Darksiders on the Sega Saturn gave me an idea on what Bruce Lee as a werewolf would be like, I've wanted a game to give that fantasy a time to shine. This is not that game. Enter Cyanide Studios, a company whose release history never achieved much higher than meh, and their latest video game, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. As a disclaimer, I want to emphasize how much I was actually looking forward to this game. The market for a werewolf game was so dry, I latched onto the promotional material for this title, becoming blind to these several red flags that could have saved me and my wallet from that hollow feeling we both ended up with. That gives you an idea of what this review is going to be like. Set in the tabletop universe of the World of Darkness series, the game opens with a very brief and vague intro to the mythical origins of nature being split into three primordial forces. The Wild for creation, the Weaver for order, and the Worm for destruction. But all you have to know is the Worm went crazy and werewolves fight against it to preserve nature. You play as resident badass werewolf and Dum Dum Dugan cosplay Kahal, no last name, in his fight against the evil Enderon Corporation. When a covert mission goes south involving Kahal's wife, our hero will charge in to save her, only to arrive and witness her death at the hands of an evil werewolf called a Spiral Shadow Dancer. Why are there evil werewolves in this game? That's a good question, but I wouldn't get your hopes up on an answer because they don't intend to give you one. What continues from there is a bare-bones, predictable plot that expects the player to hunt down books and notes to fill in lore the story doesn't take the time to explain. Which could, in all honesty, be forgiven if the cutscenes that told said story were watchable by any degree.
Go. 1 week. Endrin doesn't like waiting.
Well, paying, clearly. You're not getting anything until Endrin is paid up. You can tell that to your President Watkins in person.
I'm hard-pressed to find another title that made me think back fondly on the dead-eyed glare of Mass Effect Andromeda's initial release. The janky and stilted animations of these zombies would feel more at home in the Silent Hill franchise than in an action title I'm supposed to take seriously. Though one silver lining in this cloud of bleh would be in the combat animations. Speaking of combat, it's simple enough, with buttons for fast and heavy attacks along with jumping and dodging buttons makes it easy to pick up and play. But the combos and abilities are limited, so what joy can be gleaned was short-lived. Encounters start with an optional stealth sequence where we, the player, assume a regular wolf form and skirt the simple enemy AI to either avoid combat almost entirely or find a computer room to open a door or turn off a camera. It's not that the stealthing is difficult as it is tedious, as the game never gives you a reason to engage in it. Especially when at any time you can just simply hit a button, Hulk out, and start ripping things to shreds. Even if you attempt to stealth and get caught, a simple waist-high barrier can obstruct the AI's ability to get to you, leading to some unintentionally comedic moments.
Loose wolf on the premises.
Dispatch, we've got trouble.
While enemy variety is consistently expanded, it didn't stop combat encounters from becoming a chore as reinforcements spew from gaping doorways littered along the walls. An acceptable design choice in a 90s era 2D beat 'em up just comes off as lazy in a game that's trying to channel a current gen AAA energy. At a point later in the game, each enemy would revive in a new monstrous form, which would just drag the fights out even longer. That made stealth my go-to option just to progress faster. At its core, Werewolf Apocalypse Earthblood is a game about half-baked ideas. There's a sense Cyanide Studios is trying to check off the components of a AAA open-world action game without the work to make any of those components meaningful or worthwhile. While for a short time I did enjoy the simplistic combat, what overwhelms the experience is being aware of what the developers were trying to do and getting disappointed that each mechanic, each gimmick, was about as deep as a puddle. It's what I'd expect out of a game if Peter Molyneux had a Tim Burton phase with a paper-thin budget. My score? 2 out of 10. And there you have it. My first game reviewed on this channel, and it's dog shit. Yeah. So it goes. Like, honestly, who discounts a pre-order? Just 10%, but like, who discounts a pre-order? I should have known. Anyway, thank you so much for watching if you watched it. If you fell into this trap like I did, leave a comment down below about your experience. Maybe you had an entirely different one from me. I'd love to hear your opinion. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can see when we post any other videos. And thank you again so much for watching. My name's Jonathan Rodriguez, otherwise known as Azzy. We'll see you next time. Peace.